the news. Our top story tonight is all of the stuff they told us about on the official stream, which was a lot. But before we go ahead and do that, we're going to bounce over to a different article they also told us about on the stream. Welcome, Killer Kato, to the news, man. We're glad to have you join us. Welcome, everybody. In this article, we talked about the new British battlecruisers. Now, this was on the official stream too, but it's not the article where they were just pummeling us over and over and over with new information. This is all about the British battleships, and then there's a surprise announcement at the end. Let's get down to the bottom of this article. Now, we know that these British battlecruisers are coming. We're going to have a British battleship split, and what's cool about this is we're starting with the Queen Mary all the way down at Tier 4. We can see this battleship has 2 barrel turrets, and it looks like there's probably either 6 or 8 guns on this ship. And we'll scroll down here. We see the Tiger looks to be similar in construction. You can certainly see that it's a little bit more modern, a hull with more casemate secondaries on the Tiger here than what we're seeing up here in the Queen Mary here, where there's a straight, smooth hull alongside. The Rook starts to look a little bit more modern. Check out those front turrets. Looks like 3 barrels apiece there. And then, of course, again, these secondaries are turreted alongside rather than the casemate secondaries that we had here in the Tiger. As we move along, now they don't have the 6, which is missing here, but they did announce on the stream that it's going to be very similar to the Repulse, but that ship is still in development. They're still working on it. Chat is going great. You guys are blowing up over there. That's fantastic. They've also skipped the Tier 8, also not ready at prime time, and the Tier 3. But they do list the names of the ships below, and I'll share those with you when we get down. The Duncan there, again, looking at large, modern-looking turrets on this one. This one sports 419 millimeter guns at Tier 9, and we see that we've got 457s up here at Tier 10 with the St. Vincent. Now, what's interesting is what they've got here in this paragraph here, which I'll share with you. The stats of the battlecruisers indefatigable, which is the Tier 3. That's a hard word to say. Try it with me 3 times fast. Indefatigable, indefatigable, indefatigable. Got better as we went. There's also the Renown at Tier 6 and the Hawk at Tier 8. These ships are still being adjusted, so they didn't have pictures or technical details to share with us about those ships just yet. Now, this is what's crazy. They've got 2 possible gameplay concepts designed for these ships. They're not really sure which direction they're going to go. Medium close range brawlers with short firing ranges, torpedoes, and high damage but small launch sectors. That's all about the torpedoes. High damage, small launch sector torpedoes with short range. Secondary guns with a high chance to set fires, as well as quick acceleration and maneuverability characteristics. At the same time, they would have average accuracy and HE pen values. The deck armor is similar to that of British heavy cruisers. Available consumables would be engine boost, defensive fire, defensive AA fire, and repair party. This to me sounds loosely like Repulse with torpedoes, but spread across an entire thing. To me, that sounds interesting. Obviously, with some secondaries and things there. The British heavy cruiser armor, deck armor, that sounds bad. That actually sounds not great, especially for a ship that's going to be trying to get it within torpedo and secondary range. However, that's the way that they might consider balancing that line. The second option is long-range ships with high accuracy, powerful HE and AP shells, and they've got engine boost, defensive AA fire, and a standard repair party. So not a super heal on the long-range variant. Did they say anything about They just said repair party, so I'm assuming that's also standard. They want to test both concepts to see which one suits the line best. And what they're going to do is create a clone of St. Vincent, that's the Tier 10, called St. Lawrence, and they're going to give that to the testers and see what those folks come up with to see if one side plays better, is more fun, is more capable, is more whatever, right? Is more unique, perhaps, when it comes to playstyle. I guess we'll see what parameters they choose to use once they've chosen which path they're going to go. They do show a premium, a Collingwood here. Now, the Collingwood says that it is similar to a Nelson-class battleship. One thing that's interesting to note is that these turrets are 2 barrels apiece instead of 3, like we see on the Nelson. These are 419 millimeter guns, and the Nelson comes with 406 millimeter guns. Collingwood is not a Nelson per se, but it's similar in construction, where we've got the 3 turrets up front and a very similar looking hull with some secondaries and superstructure out back. And then surprise, surprise, down here at the bottom, they announced the German supercruiser Clausewitz. Now, Clausewitz is, as near as makes no difference, a super Hindenburg. It says it has 12 210 millimeter guns. We're looking at 2 3-barrel turrets up front. So that means we're going to have 2 3-barrel turrets out back. So it's an ABXY configuration. It's going to have higher hit points, better armor, greater firepower, and more torpedoes. However, to compensate for this notable improvement over its predecessor in the tech tree, Clausewitz will not have any unique supership mechanics. So no super booster machine gun thing, no crazy torpedo swap ability, no crazy secondary tricks like some of the battleships have. It's just a super Hindi. It's just more Hindi. If you like the Hindi recipe, you'll probably like the Clausewitz. So definitely recommend you check that out. And there's a little historical blurb down here as well. If we take a look in the article, you guys can check out the ship parameters for each of these battleships and the Clausewitz, and you can check out what it is we know about them. Again, as Wargaming mentioned up above, some of the ships aren't in here because they're still tweaking the parameters, but you can get a feel for what's going on and see, like, you know, the Tier 10 has 80,000 hit points. That's kind of light for a Tier 10 battleship. 72.52 for the Tier 9 Duncan. Things like that, right? If you guys want to do some investigation here, I recommend you do that, and I've thrown that link into, where's the thing I want to click on? That link into the chat so you guys can check it out. And again, if you're watching this later on YouTube, we'll put it down in the video's description. Okay, what else do we have for us? Well, we've got this going on, don't we? We have a new Lighthouse Auction. The Lighthouse Auction is available. It's just started up today, and you'll be able to check that out right now. There's several things that you can go and bid for. Primarily among them, the big ticket item this time is the Nelson. Tier 7 premium British battleships, 406 millimeter guns, well known for starting fires and being a real SOB in ranked battles when they're at Tier 7 because of its super heal. The Nelson's a really powerful ship for those kinds of things. And what we see here are the other lots that are available in the auction. So they're going to they're going to auction off a Nelson. They're going to auction off this guy right here as a commander, which is kind of absurd. I actually bid on this dude, partly because he comes with 14 points instead of 10. But he's kind of ridiculous. GMAC calls him Captain Chad Sterling, and I think that's a fantastic nickname for him. There we go. Bloody Joker asks, is the Nelson worth the doubloons? Chat, what do you think? I think the Nelson is a fine ship, but I think there's a lot of Tier 7 premium British battleships. And I personally, and I'm in the minority here, I will say this, I like the Hood better than I like the Nelson. But a lot of people are big Nelson fans. They're huge fans of the Nelson. Welcome, Nunez. Glad to have you here, man. I caught a few minutes of your stream earlier today, but it was still during work hours, so I couldn't really, I was kind of lurking. We've got the natural born leader here, a 14-point British commander, and it's this dude here with the sweet scarf and the cane. The cane is prominently pictured in his captain portrait. You can see it right here. You can also bid on 100,000 coal. Now, historically, this 100,000 coal has gone for a lot of credits. I don't think it's gone for less than 50 million, and I can't remember how much it went for last time. Usually, if you check the forums, you can find out what people have bid on the coal in the past. They're also selling research points. I believe the research points costs coal. That's new. I don't know that they've auctioned this off in the past. At least it's new to me. If they did research points in the past, I have no idea what they would go for. But 20,000 research points is 2 times doubler reset of one of your ships. In fact, it's a little bit more. Or a little bit less, I think, than that. So you'll have to take a look at what you think of research points are worth. Normally, you'll get research points for exchanging experience points and credits. In this case, you'd be trading coal to get research points, which is kind of a weird swap in my opinion. I don't know that I'm really interested in that personally, because I think the regular 2x doubler makes 20,000 research points. I don't know if that's faster or slower than coal. I'd be interested in your comments down below, guys, or in the chat right now, if you've got an idea on whether or not you think trading coal for research points is a good deal and where your limits would be on that, right? Nunez says the coal is not worth the research points. You might as well get a ship or one of the legendary commanders. Yeah, it's tough to say. I think some players may have a lot of coal. Maybe they've got all the coal ships and all the captains. That's a very small number of players. They would definitely be interested in swapping these for RPs and waiting to see what's next. But I think for your average player, gosh, that's pretty expensive. You can also get the HMS Nelson commemorative flag. People love collecting flags. Here's an opportunity to get the Nelson flag. With that, we've got a few pictures of the Nelson down below. I'll just pull up, let's see. I'll pull up this one here. We can take a quick peek at it. Again, 3 turrets up front, no main battery out back. Nelson is, it's an interesting boat, and it's been unavailable for a long time. So this is kind of a cool thing to see come back. You know, I think at the time Nelson was available for free. So people are going to want to do their own thinking and decide if they think Nelson is really critical for them to go out and get it. Big Data says, I think this is a test for the future, a test for future boats. I think so too. Nelson's also just been gone for a long time. So it's an opportunity for people who are newer to the game to be like, oh, cool, what's a Nelson, right? And they can build some excitement around a ship that everyone really does like, even if, you know, it's a tier 7 premium, so people aren't playing it every day. They're not, you know, people who've had it for a long time aren't logging in every single day to be like, oh, I got to play my Nelson. Okay, so that's the auction house. The Lighthouse Auction is here to stay. Whoops, that's the wrong article. This is the one we want to go to next. I lied. It's this one. Come with me, everyone. I definitely know what I'm doing. Here's the dev blog. This is the dev blog article that they spent so much time on with the EU official stream in English today. Seraphis and the new guy whose name is like Chegg, just Chegg. Chegg seems okay so far. I don't know what you guys think of Chegg. You know, hopefully he can get some love, and people were big fans of him. His first appearance on the stream, I think he did a pretty good job, but I didn't see the whole stream, so I might have missed something hilarious. Now, anyhow, this is the stuff that's coming up. We've got Faroe Islands, the new map is coming out. This looks really great. I love the color palette of this. The water's blue, contrasts nicely with this almost orange soil, and then of course we've got the snow around, and of course they put a lighthouse on there. I think this is a neat looking map. I'm not sure how the tactics of the map are going to play out, but I'm looking forward to seeing what that is all about. We're also going to see the French cruisers come out in 0.11.4. Now we're currently on 0.11.2. So this is a couple of patches away, but we're going to see the French battlecruisers come out. And when they do, remember this is an 8, 9, 10 line with a tier 7 Toulon as a premium that's going to be available. The camos here that they've got displayed are quite nice looking. I think these are pretty cool. As with a lot of the early access camos, these ones are pretty flashy. They've got a big, you know, bronze figurehead up here, big gold figurehead up here. But I think these are actually pretty good looking camouflages. And I think they make Marseille and Toulon look really cool. Frost Knight says, loving the blue on those camos. For real, dude. And it's 2 different blues too. This one here is nice and kind of a navy color. This one's a little bit brighter, a little more royal. I think they're pretty nice. They also reworked the Marseille port for the event. So we're going to have hot air balloons and bric-a-brac on this transport ship, things like that. This next one, I could have done without this announcement. In fact, I think this is a mistake. I usually don't get on Wargaming's case too hard for most things because I recognize that A, they don't listen to me, and B, nothing's going to be as bad as it sounds usually. But they're adding arms race to random battles and co-op battles on public test. Now, this is, of course, a sign of things to come. We're going to expect to see this beyond the test server, on the live server eventually. They did a survey a while ago where they said, hey, is it cool if we put arms race in random battles? And I said no, and I wrote them a novel about why I don't think this is great. I think arms race is a fun mode. I want to debunk anybody thinking I'm an arms race hater. I think it's a fun mode. But what I don't like about arms race is plugging it into random battles where now arms race is super arcadey, gamey, nonsensey. Now, I think that's the way Wargaming views random battles anyway. I think they think random battles are arcadey, nonsensey, gamey, cartoony, fake mode. That the real modes of this game are ranked and clan battles and similar modes like that. Arms race, you drive around. Bloody Joker asks, what is arms race? Arms race, you drive around and you pick up power-ups for your ships. And so you drive around, you pick up power-ups for your ships, and at the end, after a little while, there's like a central cap that everybody has to cap. And so there's a big scrap at the end. But during the battle, there's a lot of sparring that goes on between the two teams, and you change the specifications of your ship live during the match. Now that sounds interesting, and from a game perspective, from a a Ludo design, a game design type perspective, I think that's fine. But it feels really weird to me for them to throw into random battles where that's where people base their core statistics. It's where you look to say, this is how good I am in this boat. Now we have to look at it and go, this is how good I am in this boat whenever they let me play it. And sometimes we mess with all the stats to make it weird and stupid. I don't like arms race in co-op and in random battles, but I understand that I might be in the minority here. It does say here, statistics and player feedback gathered throughout each of the past iterations have served to help us continually refine this game mode. And I know they did take a survey and they asked players what we thought, and they decided to go ahead and put it into random battle. So I'm probably in the minority here when I say please don't mess with the normal mode of the game. And maybe people just really dig arms race. Kato says, I love arms race as a DD. It's really fun. And I agree that that's true. One of my problems I think I have with arms race too is that people don't take it seriously because it's not a real mode. We're going to have to learn how to play it for reals now because it is real and it will count against your stats and it will change and people will think of it as a real battle mode as we go forward. So maybe arms race will grow on me, but for now I'm shaking my fist in Wargaming's general direction for this one. Big Data says we're removing Epicenter. Is that true? Did I miss that because I was so enraged? Long range, one of the possible game modes, matchmaker settings. With the addition of arms race, the Epicenter mode will be disabled in both random and co-op battles. Well, yeah, that's a good point. Thanks, Big Data. Epicenter, arms race turns into Epicenter at the very end anyway. So we drive around and we pick up stuff, and then at the end, it's a single giant cap in the middle. But that is true. We're getting rid of Epicenter. I may have to rethink my math on this one. The next thing, and again, they just kept hitting us one thing after another on the stream today. The next thing is Clan Battle Season 17 has been announced. They're calling it Cayman. The new Clan Battle season will take place. It's going to start up on May 25th here. So that's just about a month and a half away from now. Yeah, for those of you guys paying attention to the current season, it ends this week. I think on Monday is like the last day, or maybe Sunday is the last day. So we're going to see one more week of Clan Battles action. So if your clan's taking part, good luck on your final push to whatever your next level is. And I hope you get there. We are going to see a 7x7 format, just like we have been lately, with tier 10 ships, but also super ships. So not just tier 10 ships, shaking my fist in Wargaming's general direction. The team cannot field more than one battleship and 2 super ships. Aircraft carriers, as well as the ships Petro and Kleber, are banned. So pre-season, before they even started the season, we're going to ban aircraft carriers and Petro and Kleber. We're going to do 2 super ships. One thing I like about what's going on here, now, first of all, I'm not wild about having super ships be in clan battles, and I'll tell you a couple of reasons why. Number one, super ships are very expensive. They're expensive to get, and they're expensive to run. The super battleships are about 50 million credits, and I want to say the cruisers and destroyers are about 30 million credits. So small clans made up of players who started playing within the last couple of years might have a hard time affording super ships. So we've taken clan battles, which is already something of a relatively exclusive group, and we've made it more exclusive by making it very expensive to participate if you'd like to be competitive. Because I think it's going to be likely that if you don't have super ships, you're going to be missing something. Super ships aren't that much better than tier 10s. I don't feel like they're all the way up to tier 11, but like Scott and I were talking today, we think they're 10.5s probably. So you can bring down a super ship. You can kill a super ship with a tier 10. It's not impossible to do. But I think if clans really want to be competitive, they're going to go for every advantage. And one of those advantages is going to be to take a super ship. Will you put your super ship on top of your battleship slot is very interesting to me. Because if you went with a tier 10 really good battleship and then you chose 2 other super ships, that might be the best way to go. But if you spend your super ship and your battleship slot on the same ship, that's kind of, I feel like you get a little less out of your money. Not quite getting your money's worth there. I don't know. I like that level of strategy where we have to pick which super ships. Do you take super destroyers? Do you take super cruisers? Do you take super battleships? I like that. That feels to me like a touring car racing decision, right? Which tires do I take out in the first race so I can use the better tires later? Like, how do I do this when it comes to racing? It's tricky. Or, or in this case, how do I do it in terms of super ships? Big Data says, I'm kind of okay with super ships in clan battles now. Hear me out. Clan battles already have powerful ships like Ragnar, Stalingrad, etc. So clans who don't have steel or coal now have some options. That's true. That's kind of an interesting point, right? It does make a common currency like credits. It becomes something that can help you get ships that will make you competitive against steel ships or research point ships. Credits, however, we know they're being adjusted. We're seeing more and more costs and less ways of grinding good credits. And super ships are another way that we're going to try to suck credits out of the economy. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting thing to see. Submarine updates. I was literally just complaining about this last night, this exact thing. So it says, when a sonar ping is emitted from an undetected submarine, a visual effect will display within several kilometers vicinity of the submarine itself. But the sonar ping itself will no longer be visible as it moves across the map. So they're going to put the little white submarine smudge over here on the surface of the water. This is what they're talking about right here in this middle picture. But they're taking away the sonar ping as it flies across the surface of the water. In my opinion, I don't know why they had to take away the sonar ping. I was complaining literally last night. I was playing some games with my friend Burger with a scope, and we were playing together, and I said, oh man, I heard the ping come in, but I was in scope firing, and when I came out, it was gone, so now I have no idea where the sub was. Can you tell me where it was? He's like, I don't know, it was off to your left or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. And I had no idea what I should do, which was kind of obnoxious. So I had to wait until I got pinged again. Well, by that time, I had torps on the way, and I was boned, basically. Now, the situation here with this little white submarine smudge on the water is we can go and drop our airplanes on it. You can see an example of that in this picture right here. The Montana is dropping a load of depth charges on top of the sub smudge, which is good because what you really wanted to know, this is a debuff right here. Bloody Joker brings up, that's a debuff to subs. This is a debuff. This is making it easier for people to strike submarines when you're pinging. It's going to make pinging people scarier for submarines. I don't know how close the smudge, if the smudge moves with the submarine. It says this, a visual effect will display within several kilometers vicinity of the submarine itself. What does this mean? I don't know what that means exactly. That's what I think, Scott, is you're going to have to be close-ish. I just don't know exactly what this means. This should be better for surface ships, but I'm not sure how much better. As we move on, we have yet another thing to talk about, mini-map changes. Right now, you hold control, you click on the mini-map, it highlights a box. Now, in the future here, what we're going to have is an exact position on the map. So World of Tanks added this a few months back where you can control, click, and it tells your party, it pings right on where you click. You can also click and ping on things like cap points and other stuff like that. So this is great. This is good for everybody, and it should enhance communications, especially during critical maneuvering, like in clan battles or other competitive modes, where you want to talk about, I want you to hide on this side of this island, or can you go over here? I'm going to need, he's right here. Where is he? You clicked on a whole box. No, right here. I can tell you right now where that cruiser is that has the radar, right? So we can communicate a lot better with this. I'm really excited about this. And then finally, the return of the USS Black, a special portal campaign for 11.4, upon the completion of which you will receive an American commander with 12 skill points. From the 10th of June to the 1st of July, you'll be able to earn and exchange tokens for themed sequential bundles, which will give you historical commanders, a patch, a flag, and a permanent camo for the Black. To unlock all the bundles, you will need to have 24,000 tokens. Hang with me here for a minute. 24,000 tokens, which can be purchased for doubloons at a rate of 1 to 1. Thus, 24,000 tokens is 24,000 doubloons. Remember this. You can also earn up to 2,500 doubloons, tokens, during the course of the portal campaign, which itself is enough to purchase the bundles with the patch, themed expendable, camouflage signals, and more. So 24,000 doubloons is what it costs to buy this thing. You can get about 10%, a little more than 10% of that back. 24,000 doubloons is $96. So this is about $10. This is about $100, plus or minus. And I'm talking US currency. If you guys are elsewhere in the world, you'll need to do your own doubloons conversion. Then it says when you finish the chain of sequential bundles, the black itself will be available to purchase for 19,300 doubloons. I've done the math for you. Or rather, I made Wargaming do it for us. 43,300 doubloons is 173 US dollars and 20 cents for those of you concerned with the nickels and dimes of it. $173. Now you can earn about 10 bucks in tokens just by playing the game. So for let's just round up. For 200 bucks you can get the USS Black. Right? That's cool. Immediately following the end of the campaign, the black will be available, and this is the silver lining for those of us who don't want to blow 175 bucks on this boat. Immediately following the end of the campaign, black will be available for coal in the armory. The exact cost will be about the same as the New Strashimi. New Strashimi was 296,000 coal. It'll be possible to apply the ship's armory coupon. That's a big deal, which will incidentally be refreshed in June. Thus, you'll be able to purchase her for either doubloons or coal. So $175 plus or minus, or about 300,000 coal. If you use your coupon, it'll make it about 225,000 coal, which is the full cost of most tier 10 destroyers for coal if you don't use a coupon. It's pretty darn close to a tier 10 coal DD. Scotta says, yeah, she'll be 300K, but the coupon in June is for steel ships. That's true. I'm going to use my coupon for steel. Yeah, it's so expensive. It's so expensive. But I did pay full freight for New Strashimi, so maybe I can do it again. Changes in the armory. Yes, there is yet another thing in this article. The players have been asking for a long time, hey, can you remove Leningrad, Exeter, and Ishisuchi and replace those with the premium ship containers for tiers 2 through 4, tier 5, and tier 7 back in the armory for community tokens? Wargaming has obliged and has done that for us with a change. They used to pay out doubloons when they gave us a ship that you already had, and now they're not going to do that. They're going to give you credits. Say you have all of the tier 2 to 4 ships. Back in the day, if that was a container, I don't know if they had this one before, you could buy that container, and if you owned all those ships, instead of giving you a premium ship, it would give you a little pile of doubloons. And some players who had a lot of ships were able to utilize these community tokens to basically turn that into free money. Or at least free game bucks, free fun bucks, free doubloons. So now that has been changed. So for the super whales among you, you won't be able to get free doubloons for your community tokens. But for the rest of us, this is pretty cool. They usually have a pretty good ship list for this. I don't know if it's included in this article, but when those containers come out, we'll be able to see what the ship list is going to be. They're also putting out some new content here. All of these commanders and things are pretty cool. They're actually putting in the first Swedish captain with a full Swedish voiceover, which is really neat. For sure. Yeah, Thomas, so you'll have the chance to do that for about 300,000 coal. You'll be able to get the black for coal. The trouble is, I was told on the official stream today that this beautiful tuxedo of a camo is only available for the whales who give Wargaming $173. They're always taking the cool camos and putting them behind a stupid paywall. I love this camo so much. It looks like James Bond. He's going to play Baccarat somewhere, and he's dressed to the nines. Holy crap, except for it's an American ship, so it's Felix Leiter. But it's such a pretty camo, but unfortunately, if you buy the coal version, you are not going to get this camo, is what Seraphis led us to believe today. And on that bombshell... Yes, I'm borrowing that from a program that I enjoy to watch. And on that bombshell, it is time for the news to end. Y'all, I thank you very much for being a part of it. If you're here with me on Twitch right now, we're going to go play some more World of Warships. If you are watching this later on YouTube, thanks for coming in by and hanging out. If you've never been to see one of our streams, I encourage you to come by twitch.tv/ClydePlaysLive and join us for the live show. We have a great time over there. And until then, guys, take care of each other, and we'll see y'all in the next battle. Thank you very much.
This has been the news on Clyde Plays Live.
I'm not going to do it, Bowmaster. I couldn't possibly $175. Like maybe if I could earn like I don't know, man. I don't. It's 24,000 of those tokens. That's absurd. No, thank you.